Today I'm going to share a story with you guys of how I ruined a $200 Akaushi Wagyu brisket. Hey, what's up barbecue lovers? Arnie Tex here, coming at you again with another video that I hope you'll get a lot of value out of. You know, we work hard every day. We're always busy. I mean, I'm answering emails and text messages and phone calls, always trying to figure out how to create some new content, cook on different pits, trying to learn different nuances, experimenting with rubs, creating my own rubs, selling my own rubs. I mean, we're like busy constantly nonstop. We always got something going on. Well, we had set aside one weekend, we were gonna record a pork butt video for our pitmaster class. So I got this idea that I wanted to cook this Akaushi versus a select brisket all in the middle of all of this stuff going on. Bad idea. I also had a third brisket that I had thawed already for a couple of weeks. So I said, let me just throw it in the pellet grill and not worry about it. Come to tell you, we already had way too much going on just with the pork butt. Because, you know, you got to take the cameras in and out and move them around, you know, and everything was going fine till they hit about 175. So I went to wrap them and I went ahead and I always double check with my thermopin. And they were, all three briskets were like soft. I mean, they were probe tender and I'm like, that's weird. I've never had briskets be that tender that early at that temperature stage. So now I'm thinking, it's the thermopin. So I get another thermopin. Nope, it's right, it's spot on. So I'm just poking them all over the place and they're literally tender. I mean, just super soft. But I was freaking out thinking if I leave them in there any longer, they're gonna fall apart. And I've got this $200 brisket that I'm fixing to ruin. I went ahead and let them cook a little bit longer, about 30 minutes. They all hit close to about 180. I pulled them, they were all super tender. Put them in the camera and just left them there while we finished up all our pork butt stuff. I should have known better. I mean, they gotta hit 200 plus to really be melt in your mouth tender. I mean, I should know. I've done it forever. Well, long story short, when it was time to slice, neither one of them was really very tender. Nowhere near the type of brisket that I normally cook. So you have to focus. I made a little short live video clip a little while back. What's the number one most important thing when you're running a stick burner? Is pay attention. That is a rule. You have to pay attention to what you're doing and don't get distracted. Stay focused. That day I was all over the place and I wound up ruining 3 perfectly good briskets. One of them a very expensive brisket. So needless to say, I was pissed. So when we went to edit the video, I mean, you could tell it starts out with a lot of energy. It's really cool. And then I start slicing and I'm like, oh no, man, I can tell. We made it look good, but you know, really and truly, it was a firm brisket. It wasn't tough, but it was firm. Nowhere near the kind of brisket that I normally cook.
It's gonna be chewy.
Even the pros make mistakes. Even people that cook every day for a living make mistakes sometimes, you know, things happen. What I'm getting at is don't get distracted. If you're gonna cook, not just mention that a brisket is an all-day cook, it's a commitment, it's a time commitment. You really need to be paying attention to what you're doing and don't get distracted. The moral of this story today is when you're cooking big meats especially, stay focused. Stay focused, pay attention, hit all your marks, and try not to get distracted by anything or anybody. There's a little clip in there of my drum where I ruined the paint job on that. Actually, it's powder coating, just totally crisped up and melted the paint off. Almost burned my house down with that one. I just went and cracked the front door open a little bit to get a little more air. I wanted to get the temperature up a little bit higher. Walked in the house to get a drink of water or something, forgot that I had cracked the door. Went back out to see flames just coming out of the exhaust, out of the intake, out of every freaking crack on that drum around the edge of the door. There was just flames coming out. So I pushed it off the porch, closed all the inlet and the exhaust, and it eventually died. But as you can tell by the video, it was toast, man. It was totally ruined, paint job wise anyway. So anyway, guys, my whole moral of this video is pay attention and stay focused. Even the big guys make mistakes, even professionals make mistakes. Don't let that discourage you from trying again. You gotta keep trying. The only way you get better is like any other sport. You have to keep trying, you have to keep working at it. It's a lot of trial and error there, you know. Now, if you want to avoid a lot of the trial and error, you can buy my online pitmaster class. Just throwing a little plug in there. I have a complete online pitmaster class. In there, you'll find everything you need to know about how to cook award-winning barbecue. And then I have a complete backyard class that is less expensive, that'll teach you from start to finish, from selection at the meat market or at the grocery store, right down to trimming, slicing, plating. Guys, it's an awesome class. I encourage you to check it out at pitmasterclass.us. But again, back to our story. I ruined that very expensive brisket. This Akaushi versus Select brisket would have turned out really good if I had just cooked them to where they were perfectly done, over 200 degrees. But I had too many things going on. I was pushing the envelope of time and just had too much. So I want to say again is don't get distracted. Don't try to do too many things other than when you're cooking. It's okay to do a couple of things, but always stay focused. Pay attention, use your meat probes, your chef alarms, your ink birds, whatever you have. Monitor your temperatures, put your alarms on so that you don't mess anything up. And by the way, if you have a story you want to share, go ahead and post it in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. If you like this video, if you get value out of our videos that we try our best to put out for you guys, go ahead and hit the like button and ring the bell so you don't miss anything. Keep the smoke light, make it work. Boom! And that, my friends, is how sometimes you burn the whole damn house down. Mother